Twisted Minds. The MENA breakout squad went straight from Challenger Series to undefeated in Swiss, announcing themselves as the new global threat that no one saw coming. Pure aggression meets major stage hunger, and this is their moment to shock the establishment. Standing by now with Mag and Hashon Bailey to get into this first quarterfinal. Some just brief words from each of you. Mag, I'm going to start with you. This must feel quite nostalgic being back on a stage like this.
Feels really good to be back, especially in front of so many fans. Appreciate everyone coming out, and hopefully we'll show you guys some good siege today.
Are you ready for this opportunity?
Yeah, we are ready to lift the trophy, not just against Enterprise. This is my third time in mini stage, but I hope this time is a different way.
I love the confidence, guys. Can we get a quick handshake? Best of luck to both of you. Here we go. Let's get this major kicked off with the boys who've come all the way from Britain. It's Ace and Dez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chambers. Indeed, here we are, guys, for the first game of the day. I'm Dez, this is Tim, and this one, it's a secret banger in waiting.
I don't know that it's that secret, Des. I've been waiting for this for the last couple of days. Absolutely hyped about it. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. And I think everybody here, they know it as well.
Absolutely. Look, for these boys, I said yesterday on the social media, you've got a lot of big teams playing today. And I think this one's going to be a sleeper. For me, a lot of people are back in Twisted Minds. But I think Enterprise...
Hello everyone, I'm hoping you're having an amazing day, morning, night, wherever you are. So we are getting into the first day of the finals, and the first game of the day is going to be between Twisted Minds and Enterprise. Now, I did predict that Enterprise will be winning this game because they have been playing really well. So hopefully they will still continue, but we do have Twisted Minds who has also been playing really well. So it's going to be a nail-biter of the game. And then we have the highlighter game of the day, which is going to be between Shopify Rebellion and G2. Who will be winning that match? Spoit or Stompen? Or should we say Spoit and Shaiko at this moment? So let's get into the first game of the day and see how it goes.
I spoke to the boys backstage before we came around here, and I said to them, you've been here 3 times before. You've made top 8 at an NA LAN. Surely this is your time to see it over the line. And they said, you'd hope so, right? And I was like, yeah, let's hear the confidence. Back yourselves to do it. It's a golden time to do it, and it's, of course, no slight on Enterprise. This is probably their best chance of getting it done and over the line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think, the draw has maybe been favourable for both of them. I think they both come in here with a very realistic chance of a semi-final. It's not like and it's not to say, Twisted Minds already beat G2. It's not to say that just because you draw a G2 or a FaZe that you can't go on and do it, but I just feel like there's a real opportunity here for these two. One of them to be the first MENA team in the semi-finals, one of them to be the first OCE team in a semi-final of a major. There's so much history that's going to be written here today, no matter what the outcome is.
I've got a tiny pause before we get into game, Tim, and this one's a classic when it's your first time on stage. Toilet break. Sit on stage and you go, oh no, gotta go pee. And they're in that case now where we're just waiting for ourselves to get into the game. You've already seen as well the maps, Tim. Cafe to kick things off. Oh, screamer of a start. I'm really excited about map 3 if we get there. Fortress between these two. They've played it so well all tournament long. Dying to see them on that map.
Yeah, I already want to see Fortress. I think everybody else is going to want to as well. We're in the wonderful Salt Palace here in Salt Lake City. It has filled up nicely for this big game to kick us off. Everybody is ready for a day full of quarterfinals. And you and I, we're just along for the ride, really, Des.
You got no choice but to sit there and come along for the ride, I think, at some point, Tim. Yeah, you just got to let it go where it's going to go. Let that minecart run away and show us what they can do. It's going to be a long day, as we said. 4 quarterfinals we've got coming up today. 4 best of 3s. It could be a long one, but every single game just feels like an absolute screamer. Of course, not also forgetting, this feels like the first time in forever we've only had 1 Brazilian team in the quarterfinals. What's going on there?
Huge deal. There's so many stories going to be written, not just today, but over the weekend. Let's not forget, all the teams that play today, Des, they are just 3 wins away. That's it now. 3 wins, 1 each day, will get the job done, and they get to lift that fantastic trophy at the end of all of this. But the FaZe Falcons matchup later on, like you say, one of them, it's going to be the first time they don't make top 8 in a long time, and that is inevitable.
It's crazy to think, obviously, just last year, you and I cast that exact grand final at the SI in Boston. Yet one of those 2 teams must go home on day 1 of playoffs.
It's going to be crazy.
It's always succeeding, you know. You've got to look
Hope you're having an amazing Friday, guys.
FaZe obviously breeze through phase 1 as well. And dare I say, I know we're all saying, oh, there's only one
I was
Brazilian team.
thinking of like starting earlier, but I was caught up watching like
That's the problem, isn't it? I think I said it
watching
on cast the other day, we were
the new
talking
Devil
about it
May
during one of the
Cry
games,
series.
the
Like
fact
it's
that
so
FaZe
freaking
were the
good.
only
Love it.
Brazilians left came up, and I said, yeah, but FaZe still go on and win it, don't they? It doesn't always matter. So we will see whether FaZe are able to get it done or not. But of course, we would need to settle a little thing here between Enterprise and Twisted Minds before we do that and find out who our first semi-finalist is. I don't think we're too far away now. We can see a little bit of a huddle coming in from Enterprise. Mag just wanting those last few words to his team. Maybe just calming a few nerves as well before we get the game underway.
This is the thing we heard them speaking about the other day. When they haven't played great throughout the stages so far, it's when they've lost that confidence. The thing I've loved about Enterprise, all competition long so far, they talk absolute shit in the chat. And it is the best thing to watch. But that is when they're at their best. When they're brimming with confidence, when they're going all out on the psychological warfare basis, they come out on top. But if they let that dip, and I think here on a live stage, that can be an impact. Who knows? As long as the right team turns up today, this one's anyone's game.
But it's like I said when they were playing against Falcons, if you remember. They play at their best when they are visibly having fun.
Yes.
When that pressure started to hit a little bit later in the game, that's when we started seeing them to struggle. So that's definitely something to watch out for Enterprise today. Are they able to translate that fun? You know, they're not in their own room anymore. They're now here in front of a big crowd, ready to, you know, cheer and support both of these teams. But can they get it done under the bright lights, under the pressure? Can they keep that fun? I think that's the important thing. I think if you see Enterprise going quiet, if you see maybe, you know, the chat dying down a little bit, that's when we might see Twisted Minds getting on top of things.
I know both teams have been gagging for it as well. I had a good chat to the Twisted Minds boys in the hotel yesterday, and last night they looked cool as cucumbers. They were dead ready. Guards, I said to him, mate, you played unbelievably. Are you sure you're not your brother? And he was like, I promise I'm not. But no, they're very much excited for it. Both teams are, as you've probably come to expect. I just feel for Enterprise, maybe the pressure's there a little bit more than most. But this is where you'd hope the experience of Mag, of course, stepping in as their coach recently, can do a hell of a lot for them. Final few checks here, and then game will be underway.
Well, you know, it's a very good point that you make, Des. Mag, of course, has been on the biggest stage of all. You know, Mag's been there. He's been on that 6 Invitational stage with Fnatic in the past. He knows what it's all about. And the question now is just how much can he impart that knowledge, impart that experience to his team so that it can have an effect for them.
Last couple of tech checks, I think, going on before we jump in. A reminder again, our first map is Cafe. That is Enterprise's map pick. If they're going to start out strong anywhere, Tim, it should be here. But Twisted Minds have a 3-0 record on it over the last 6 months. They don't mind playing this map. And then they step into the halls of Clubhouse, where Twisted Minds played excellently the other day. And for Enterprise, it's not a map they've had a win on over the last 6 months. So if we can get through those first 2 maps and it's 1-1, for my money, Fortress has to be the decider.
I think we all want to see it, don't we? We all ready. We haven't even got 1 round yet, and we're ready for 45 days. We're ready to see every single inch of this matchup. We get to see our trophy there before we head into Cafe.
Well, Salt Lake City, let's get ready for a banger of a best of 3 to get our quarterfinal Friday underway. Enterprise versus Twisted Minds here on Cafe. You're all back in Twisted Minds, but Tim, like I said, I think there's a twist in this tale yet to come.
I get the feeling as well that Enterprise are the sort of team that will be more than happy to be the underdogs. They'll be more than happy to come in here and try and get an upset. They don't care, you know, whether people are backing them, not backing them. I think they'll be more than suited with their position.
All right, let's get into our operator bans. First and foremost, Tim, Azami being taken offline. Oh, Shom's the first one to fire some shots in the chat as well. But like you say, the Azami and the Monty has been taken away as the first 2 bans here. The Monty, not a massive surprise. We have seen Enterprise wheel it out as and when necessary. Cairo, their main shield player, And Dockerby also going to follow. That's a really good ban. Both of these teams love playing Solid Snake, and when he's not available, they jump over towards playing on the Decabi instead. But I think that having at least one taken away there means they know they're going to come up against the Solid Snake in the majority of rounds. I think they'll have a plan for that, Tim. We've seen teams making good use of Mute to completely deceive the Snake and punish them for it.
Yeah, Mute is the big one at the minute. There's a couple of counters for Snake, Alibi being another one, of course, but yeah, Mute has really been the choice. Get out there on the run, because the thing is, you can combine it with a Mozzie as well, for example. We've seen that so many times. Take the Mozzie, take the Mute, just completely black out a floor, and then when Snake's trying to work his way through, surprise, you stood in a Mute jammer. We saw it, you know, G2 got caught out with it.
It was on this exact map as well.
On this exact map, just straight in. Yeah, we've got the all clear from the Soliton radar, straight in through mining window, run into train. There's a pulse stood in a Mute jammer. Yes. And that was it. It was game over. So yeah, definitely something that I think we'll see if we start seeing that Snake play creep in. Not picked up yet in the first round, but okay. I think I think on Cafe you're going to see most of your Snake play for kitchen attacks. Yeah. Because you don't really need to do too much. You do need to clear top floor, but you kind of know where everybody's going to be if it's a read-in hold or a mine-in hold, for example. So you don't need to worry about finding them too much.
What I love about the difference between these two teams is, for those who've been eagle-eyed throughout the competition, we are very much in a trap meta right now, because you need to hold an awful lot of the map, be very, very aggressive around it, because attackers are just so strong right now. Twisted Minds, they love that. They will play into the Fenrir. They'll play a lot of Solus. We've seen them, of course, running around with a lot of Thorn. On the other side, Enterprise love playing more old-school style. They'll sit in behind mirrors, for example. They'll play a lot of Warden, a lot of Goyo. They'll try and slow things down. So I'm very curious to see if that changes at all throughout this series, but Twisted Minds, they're carrying on as they started, Tim. You've got the Solus, you've got the Fenrir, you've got the Val. They want to be busy. And Shock Horritin has shown us.
Sorry, I'm like fixing a lot of stuff at the same time. It's crazy how busy I am.
As soon as he hears that hatch open, I'm going to go and have a look. I'm going to see what I can get done. But at the minute, Enterprise not really leaning too strongly towards getting inside of the map above. It's been more about softening up Bakery, softening up this ground floor. P9 is one to keep your eye on. It's a position I always point out. He's playing out in VIP.
So Cafe, Clubhouse, and Fortress. Interesting, interesting.
The focus is going to be 100% towards Bakery, which doesn't look the case right now as Enterprise get themselves up onto the roof. It is very late to start that top floor down clearance.
Oh,
it is, but it's also coming up a lot against Twisted Minds. We've been very aggressive out
end the stream.
The nice thing about it for them, I suppose, is